It's just past 9 at night, somewhere off an interstate in the middle of nowhere. A driver has been behind the wheel for almost 11 hours. His back aches. His eyes are heavy. And right now, he has exactly one problem on his mind. And it's not the one you'd think. He needs to find a parking spot. That sounds simple. It isn't. Because the law says he has to stop. And the same law says he can't drive another mile once his hours run out. If every space in this lot is taken, and by this time of night, most of them are, he's stuck circling, burning the clock, hunting for a gap big enough to fit 18 meters of truck. And once he finally squeezes in and shuts that engine down, something interesting happens. This parking space becomes his house for the night. Not a hotel, not a motel down the road. This, a box behind the seat, smaller than most people's bathrooms, where he is about to eat dinner, take a shower, watch something to unwind, and fall asleep, all without ever leaving the truck. So tonight, I want to take you through one full night in a sleeper cab, start to finish, where the food comes from, how the shower works, and why so many of these drivers say they sleep better here than they ever do at home. By the end, you'll understand a world that's parked along every highway you've ever driven, one almost nobody ever sees. First, let's answer the obvious question. Why live in the truck at all? Why not just check into a room? The answer is math. There are around 3.5 million truck drivers in the United States. A huge share of them are what the industry calls OTR, over the road. These aren't the local drivers who are home for dinner. OTR drivers run the long hauls, coast to coast, 3, 4, 5,000 miles at a stretch, and they stay out, sometimes for weeks at a time. Now imagine paying for a motel every one of those nights. A room near a highway runs somewhere between $80 and $120. Multiply that across 20+ nights a month, and you're looking at close to $30,000 a year, just to sleep. For a driver who spends around 200 nights a year on the road, a hotel habit isn't just expensive. It would eat the job alive, so the truck becomes home. And like any home, the night starts with dinner. Here's what most people picture when they imagine a trucker's dinner. A greasy burger from a diner. A gas station hot dog that's been spinning since Tuesday. Chips and an energy drink. And sure, that exists. But it's not the reality for a lot of drivers, because once again, the numbers don't add up. Eating out 3 times a day, every day, runs anywhere from $12 to $18 a meal. Do that for a week, and you've spent $200 to $300. Do it for a month, and you've burned through $1,500, just on food. So drivers got resourceful. And modern sleeper cabs are surprisingly well set up for it. Most have a 12-volt refrigerator wired straight into the truck's electrical system, keeping food cold for days. Plenty of drivers add a microwave, a small induction cooktop, even a compact air fryer. Some skip the cab entirely. A portable propane grill, a folding chair, and a parking lot. At sunset, somewhere out west turns into a better dinner setup than most people have at home. Dinner's done. Now comes the part everyone's curious about. How on earth do you take a shower out here? This is where it gets impressive. Because the big truck stop chains, Pilot, Flying J, Love's, TA, aren't really gas stations. They're small cities built for one specific kind of customer. Fuel, food, laundry, parking, and yes, showers. And forget whatever grim image just popped into your head. These are private rooms, a locking door, a clean sink and toilet, a real shower with proper pressure, and fresh towels. They're scrubbed down between every single use. Even better, Drivers usually don't pay for them. The chains run rewards programs tied to fuel. Buy enough diesel, and you earn shower credits. And since a single truck can burn through hundreds of gallons in a week, most professional drivers never hand over a cent for a shower. Some of them will tell you they get cleaner on the road than they ever did at home. And then there's the other end of the spectrum, drivers who never step outside at all, because not every sleeper is a box behind the seat. Companies like ARI Legacy Sleepers, Bolt Custom Trucks, and ICT build custom sleeper cabs that genuinely embarrass the average studio apartment. We're talking queen-size beds with real bedding, built-in cabinetry, hardwood floors, flat-screen TVs on the wall, climate control you can set by the degree. Some have a full kitchen, a lounge, and a private bathroom with a glass door shower, all inside a truck. And the price? Entry-level custom builds start around $150,000. Mid-range sits between $200,000 and $300,000. And the top tier, built-to-order rigs can hit $500,000. A few have crossed $6 million. To put that in perspective, the median home price in the United States is around $400,000. So some of these drivers are quite literally living in something worth more than the average American house. Except theirs does 70 on the interstate. But whether it's a $500,000 palace or a basic bunk, every night ends the same way: sleep. And here's something most people never think about. Falling asleep in a truck stop is nothing like falling asleep in a quiet bedroom. Picture it. You've just driven 11 hours. All you want is to close your eyes. But outside your window sit 50 other trucks, humming, rattling, vibrating at a frequency that crawls right into your skull. Ask new drivers what the hardest part of the job is, and it's not the loneliness, and it's not the food. It's the noise. The endless, low growl of diesel engines that never fully goes quiet. So how do they deal with it? Modern sleeper cabs are better insulated than people assume. Thicker walls, double-layered windows, and heavy blackout curtains that seal the bunk off completely. Once those curtains close, the cab becomes its own little world. Then there's temperature. And this is where a piece of hidden technology earns its keep: the APU, the Auxiliary Power Unit. It's a small system that runs independently of the main engine, keeping the climate steady, the lights on, and the cab livable all night without idling the big diesel. In summer, it runs the air conditioning. In winter, the heat. At extreme temperatures, it stops being about comfort and becomes about survival. And here's the part that surprises everyone. Driver surveys consistently find that a lot of OTR drivers sleep better in the cab than they do at home. It makes a strange kind of sense. The routine is identical every night. The space is familiar. There's no one running down a hallway, no dog jumping on the bed. Just the curtains drawn, the soft hum of the APU, and a hard stop built right into the law. Because the rules require a minimum of 10 hours off duty before a driver can get back behind the wheel. Rest here isn't optional, it's mandatory. So the curtains close, the hum settles in, and the lot full of strangers fades into background noise. And in the morning, it all happens again. Wake up, pack down the bed, pull back onto the highway, repeat. To most of us, a truck is just something we move over for on the freeway, something we never think about twice. But for the person behind that wheel, it's everything at once: a bedroom, a kitchen, a bathroom, an office, a home that happens to roll down the interstate at 70 miles an hour for weeks at a time, hundreds of nights a year. And honestly, ask most of them, and they wouldn't trade it for anything.